record there just to see if it works. And let's record there and hope that that works. Alrighty. So A, B, C, D, E, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, R, S, T, U, V, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z, and A, B, C. I have that much classical training in vocals. That much. Just enough to know, use the diaphragm when I sing, and it's irritating Jack. My friend Jack is in the chat room. We're recording this live. Coffee, rum. Turn your headphones off. Hello and welcome to this episode of The Artistic Biker, live from Houston, America, God's country. I'm down here in God's country. You know how I know it's God's country? Water doesn't freeze here. Where water freezes is an aberration. Solid water is an aberration. The great dolphin can't swim freely in solid water. Alright, so what's happened? Something's happened. No. Okay, I'm on corner duty. Jack says he's got to work. Okay, so this week on The Artistic Biker Live, oh my God, we've had some gremlins, we've had some kids activity, I mean, one thing after the flipping other. So, I mean, I think it's been a month since we committed to doing the show again. It's been a month since we've had a show. And it's all, well, the computer doesn't work. Well, la, 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 la. I mean, let's see. What we do here. Here's the last page was, you can't see that. Here's the last page was when, well, I'm not going to reach over like that. What's going on with the cameras? Goodness. I had to tear the whole studio apart and put it all back together. Well, that's still dumb. What's happened? It's a good thing we're recording this. I want to make sure you guys get all of the nonsense that goes on in here. Okay. A little bit. All right, that's perfect. That's exactly where I want it, right there. Okay, where's my phone? So, the computer that I had, somebody's chatting with me. Good Lord, people. Okay, let's see here. The computer that I had crashed. And then I bought a new computer. And the new computer couldn't handle the show. It was too much. The show was just too much for the new computer. And so the brand new computer, which is up there, is, come on, turn around, there we go, this monstrosity. Yeah, so we've upgraded. We've moved up, and I know you guys don't like it when I talk tech, but I'm just going to talk tech for just a minute. We moved up from our little 4 gig system with 2 gig. I think I had a 2 gigahertz processor, and I had a quad processor. Anyway, this one's got a 6-core processor and 16 gig of RAM, 220, 225, whatever it takes to make it work, you know, Mr. Mom moment. But the 16 gig of RAM really helps with everything. So what we did was, when that computer crashed, when that computer crashed, it really threw us for a loop, because the entire show, everything was on that computer. I mean, everything. It's not even backed up anywhere. Everything was on that computer. Luckily, we still have the hard drive, so I'm able to drag all the stuff off of it. It's just a real pain. And I went to Best Buy and I bought a bargain computer, and you get what you pay for, because the bargain computer was like on video. So I mean, struggle after struggle after struggle. Then we finally get everything caught up where we have a computer that can handle it and everything's set up, and we don't have any of the software. And I try to download the software and I try to install the software, and everything says, no, we're not doing it. You haven't paid for a license. Well, of course I've paid for a license, so I got to contact all the vendors. Long story short, too late. We're back to set up. We're back in business. The only thing wrong is that there's still some settings like the microphone. We're still missing some settings like the microphone. So I'm using that microphone instead of that microphone. And that microphone is a much better microphone, but right now it sounds like boo. So we're using that microphone. But that'll suffice. I mean, that'll get us by. But we're back up. I mean, we have all of our cameras back. We can flip through and we can show all the stations. This is the boy station. This is the girl station. This is over my shoulder. This is the whole length of the station. You can see the computer down there on the end. You can see the pile of crap in the middle. You can see my pretty mug, and then you can see the book. So the gremlins are taken care of. I think that we have successfully eliminated the gremlins. Now maybe, I don't know. We'll see where it goes. But the goal is to get back up to weekly shows. And the beauty of it is that now that I mean, every Monday night. Let me run you through this. Let me run you through this schedule for my little family here. All right. So Monday night is soccer for the boy and the girl practice. Tuesday night is Cub Scouts for the boy. Wednesday night was RE, religious education classes at the Catholic Church for my son, who just had his first communion, and my daughter, boy 2 and girl 2, were both going to RE classes. Now there was no real reason for her to go to RE classes, because her quinceañera or bat mitzvah or whatever you call it, that's not for at least 3 more years. Confirmation, that's it, confirmation. That's not for at least 3 more years. But she was going because it was convenient, because he was going. So okay, so that was Wednesday night, and then Thursday night we were trying to do a show, and every week there was something. Every week there was something. Last week we preempted the show because Junior had because Girl 2 had an orchestra performance. So I broadcast the orchestra performance on Facebook. So if you're not following me on Facebook, you're missing out on stuff like that. I broadcast the orchestra performance on Facebook. And then this Thursday, I was going to have to miss this Thursday because the Cub Scouts, one of the older Cub Scouts, in order to earn a badge to teach younger Cub Scouts a game, was going to teach the younger Cub Scouts how to play kickball. And my wife had some kind of teacher thing, and I was going to have to take him to Cub Scouts, and I wasn't going to make it. Well, it worked out. It all worked out. The wife was able to skip her teacher thing and take the kid to Cub Scouts, which is why there's nobody in the studio with me. It's why I'm sitting here all alone. So very alone. The little girl, Unico Chantiel Lafontaine, she's here somewhere, but she didn't want to be out here. I make her pick up her mess while she's out here. But all that said to say that life is almost back to normal. Soccer, my little girl too, went to her last soccer practice Wednesday night because RE is over after my son's first confirmation. RE is over until her quinceañera. But at soccer practice, one of the siblings kicked her in the foot, and so she's busted up, broken, hobbling around over here. Here she is hobbling up right there.
I was going to ask you a question. I didn't know you were
What kind of question?
Oh, where's the charger to the laptop?
I don't know.
I need to take
It
some
might be
out.
under there.
Oh, well, that's very helpful. Never mind.
I'm not sure. We've been looking. Look for a blue Walmart sack with liquor in it.
How about I just put it on?
No, it's for me. I don't care about you anymore. No, but it's likely in that sack somewhere. So wherever your mom put that sack, it's likely in there. But I'm on. Say hi to the people.
Hello, people.
There's Granny and Jack.
Hi, Jack.
So, anyway, show them your foot.
No.
Put your foot up here.
No.
Don't make me put your foot up here. So her foot's broken.
It's bandaged.
her foot's bandaged up, and so the likely not going to play soccer this weekend, and it's the last game of the season, and her team is disbanding. Maybe the last time she was ever going to play soccer ever
2 weeks ago.
was 2 weeks ago. So Jack says you've got your mother's eyebrow wiggle. Not only that, Jack, watch this.
No.
Wait, no. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Hang on. Let me see. Come here. I love you. Everybody loves you. Here, look. Here, let me see this one. Just this one. She won't let me show you, but her hair does that thing.
The frizz. It's horrible.
She's got the cray. Oh, Mom, you missed it. My mom's in the chat room. She's like, "What happened to my baby?" She got kicked by one of the siblings.
No. I fell on it after he kicked me, like really hard.
Okay, so she got kicked by one of the siblings, and then she fell on it, and she heard a crack. So she's got some swelling. She's bandaged up, and she's been keeping ice on it.
That's fun.
But she may never play soccer again. Not because she'll never heal, but because if she doesn't play next season, it's over.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, she's done with soccer.
9 years of playing soccer.
We're not done with her playing soccer, but she's done with playing soccer.
9 years is a little over the top. 9 years. This is my 9th year.
525,600 minutes.
I'm taking this thing. Whatever.
What is that thing?
I don't know. I found it.
Oh yeah, take it. Okay, so that brings us to the book. The whole reason we're here tonight.
No, you are not drawing or painting me.
No, I'm not.
Okay, good.
So I wanted to show you what I was trying to show you a couple of weeks ago, but we kept having gremlins. One of the things that I wanted to show you was be sure you've got a cup of coffee or something, make sure you're liquored up. But we finished the journal. I painted this little watercolor. I painted this in a hotel room in Atlanta, Georgia. I was staying the night in a hotel room. Is that right? I don't remember if I was in Atlanta or if I was in Tennessee. I might have been in Memphis. But I painted this either in Atlanta, Georgia or Memphis, Tennessee. And that tells you how long we've been working at this book. I mean, this book's been going on. This book has been going on long. Oh, Mom, I did not hurt the other child, and it happened Wednesday night. So she's asking me about my daughter's foot. So we made this. We painted this. When did we paint this? I mean, it's been that long. Okay, so let's flip through here and date it before we do anything else. This Halloween right here. This Halloween is the Halloween that I moved down here. I did this show, this Halloween night, in October of 2015. So we started this journal in 2015, in the fall of 2015. So sometime in 2015, when I was in a hotel room with my day job, is when I did this little watercolor, and we made this journal out of grocery sacks and the foam board that they make the science fair exhibits out of, or if you rather the political campaign posters. That same foam board makes up the cover, and we glued it all together, and then I used grocery sacks. The pages are made out of grocery sacks, and I don't have an empty page to show you. I should probably have left one of the pages empty, but you can see the torn edges. You can see that it's made of grocery sacks, and so the book is made out of grocery sacks and political signs. This is a big piece of mixed media watercolor paper that I watercolored on. I have a deck of playing cards that have my logo on them, and that's what's glued on here to identify the book. Probably should write the date on there. Hey, Boudreaux! I should probably write the date on there sometime. Matter of fact, let's do that real quick. And I say quick like it's going to happen that fast. So this is what? September. So 9/20/15. Really? 2015 to 4/2018. I mean, wow. So from September 2015 to April of 2018 is how long we've been working in this book. So we'll do a quick flip through. Here is the very first in the formal book, which I always start the first day of fall. Here is my fall page. Spring and fall are my two favorite weeks in Oklahoma, and so here's my beautiful young bride as Lady Fall. Everybody else in the world calls it autumn because it's the season. We call it fall because leaves fall down. So there's my page tributed to fall, me playing in the leaves. Wife blowing me. Wait, I'm not going there. Okay, and then it's the Halloweeny season, and we made a stencil for the bats, and we spray painted the stencil for the bats, and we spray painted the whole background. And I love the Halloweeny season. We dedicate the entire month of October to the Halloweeny season. But when I do the Halloweeny season, I like to do scary things. I like to do things that are truly, truly scary. I mean, you can talk about Freddy Krueger all you want to. You can talk about Jason Voorhees. You can talk about Michael Myers. Wait, is that right? Michael Myers? Is it Michael Myers, or is that the guy that does Shrek? I don't know. Anyway, you can talk about all these guys you want to, but none of that is as scary as the real stuff that I put in my journal for Halloween. Like going to the doctor with the rubber glove. You know, that was the worst trip to the dentist ever. You know, that's horrifying. When the dentist bends you over when the doctor bends you over the table and puts both hands on your shoulders. Worst dentist trip ever. And then here's a nightmare of my kids growing up and going to UT. Here's my son as a UT cheerleader. Here's my daughter as a UT quarterback. University of Texas. My wife is like, no, I'm having nightmares. And these guys are over here singing, the eyes of Texas are upon you. But I'm comforting her. I'm telling her it was only a nightmare. And here's the kids going Boomer Sooner. They know better. They know better. Better know better. And then I had proof that my wife was a witch. And you'll just have to follow me around on this page for a minute. She may marry a quarterback. I don't know. I doubt it. She's not really into sports geeks. So let's run through this page real quick, because this is proof that my wife is a witch. Let's start with the toilet paper roll. I was here by myself for a long time. I moved into this house at when did we do this page? If we did this page in October of 2015, oh, this is still in the old house. Okay, this is still in the old house. I'm sorry, I got confused. This is still in the old house. But I was in the old house for a little bit by myself, and the toilet paper roll remained empty. And then she shows up, and then the toilet paper roll was full. It was empty as long as she was gone. And then she shows up, and the toilet paper roll was full. It's witchcraft. I'm telling you, it's witchcraft. So this is proof one. The toilet paper roll that's magic. I don't even know how that happens, but the toilet paper roll was empty, and then the toilet paper roll was full. So there's proof. That's proof one that she's a witch. Proof two, she's got a funny nose and a pointy hat. You can see in this picture that she has a funny nose and a pointy hat. That's proof that she's a witch. 3, she turned me into a nude. I got better. But the reality here, the real thing is the toilet paper. Proof that when the toilet paper roll changed, that's how I knew. That was proof to me that that my wife is a witch. And then we had Halloween at the corporate apartment here in Houston, Texas. And so I did the skyline of Houston, Texas, and it really had no relevance to Houston. It was really just a skyline of a metropolis, a thriving metropolis. But here I am in my Titan buff regalia. And if you weren't watching the show that night, hang on just a second, I should have been more prepared for this. But if you weren't, hang on, it's in the family folder. Oh goodness, that was a long time ago. If you weren't watching the show that night, you should know that I was actually wearing my Titan buff. I was actually wearing my Titan buff suit to go fight crime. Titan buff. Goodness, those gold lame shorts were tight. Boudreaux's in the chat room going, it was a sight to behold. Eek! So anyway, here's me as Titan buff. Whenever there is a damsel in a dress, there's Titan buff. Then I was living the bachelor life in my little corporate apartment all by myself, and I'm a creature of habit. So I bought a block of cheese, I bought a bag of pears, I boiled 18 eggs, and this is all I was living on. This is all I was living. My mom's in the chat room going, oh my goodness, because I showed that picture. But this is all I was living on, was cheese, pears, and eggs, and beer. This is all I was living on, bachelor diet, because I'm too lazy to cook. And then, let's see, oh, and then we were house hunting. And so here's all these house flies, and me with a net trying to catch the perfect house. The house we ended up with is not even in this. That is because when I did this, we had settled on this house. When I did this, we had settled on this house, and this house had 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, had a big yard. It was in a cul-de-sac, but they turned the utilities off before we could get a contract on it. And I couldn't get the inspections done, and because I couldn't get the inspections done, I couldn't put a contract on it, and so we had to move. We had to pick a different house, and we ended up in the house that we're in. And, you know, it's very good that we ended up in the house that we're in, but it wasn't our first choice. And then it was Thanksgiving, and we were playing Hide the Turkey, and it's a tradition. We play Hide the Turkey every year. You know, this year we painted the turkey as a peacock so the turkey wouldn't be eaten. And then it was Christmas time, and I don't remember, something horrible happened at Christmas time, because something horrible always does happen at Christmas time. And all I could think about was holding my family tight with me, and they weren't even down here. So let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. I don't really remember what it was, but here's the junior and girl 2, and my beautiful young bride, and me trying to huddle close to them, all reflected in a Christmas ornament. And then Star Wars came out. May the cheer be with you always. May the cheer be with you. So we have Jabba the Santa the Hutt. That's what we have. Santa the Hutt. Me in my slave Leia costume. May the cheer be with you always. And then we were setting up the studio in the garage of the new house. And let me tell you how awesome it was before they got here. It's not true. That I put all that stuff over there. I want you to understand, I put all that stuff over there, and we are going to get all that stuff organized. That's the goal. Wife's got 2 more weeks of school, and then all that stuff is either going up on a shelf, or it's going to storage, or it's going in the trash bin, or, you know, somewhere, because she has to have an art studio next to me. But let me tell you how awesome it was when it was just me out here and I could art to my heart's desire. Throw open a door and spray paint, the whole works. 2016, setting up my new art digs. I wouldn't trade what I have for the world, except if we could get a bigger art studio and do this again. All right, and then there was a long delay. This was like January, and then this was like March. This is 2016. This is like January of 2016, and then this is like March of 2016. When you have nothing to say, then say nothing out loud. I think that's I think those are pretty big. I think those are pretty good words. If you have nothing to say, then say nothing out loud. And then it was my birthday. Oh, so this is still January because this is my birthday. Thanks for noticing. It's my birthday. Thanks for noticing. Yeah, so this is still January. This is like the first week of January. This is the middle of January. This is the end of January because my birthday is the 28th. And then I should date these. You know, I bought a stamp to date these, and I say this every time. It's right up there somewhere. I don't know. I need to find it. I need to start dating these things so that I can remember. Because now we know this wasn't March. This was the middle of January. This is the end of January. This is sometime in February. Now that I'm older, I'm feeling the aches and pains. I don't mind the meds, but the suppositories leave greasy film on my tongue. And then I was doing household maintenance. I was repairing the fence so that when the dogs got down here, they wouldn't just be able to run into the neighbor's yard. And household maintenance is often not without personal sacrifice. All of this injury was fake. The only thing wrong with me was I broke a nail. But I didn't let that stop me from whining. It's important that you know that I did not let that stop me from whining. I've started putting salt in my coffee. So there's salt, and there's cream, and there's artificial sweetener, and then there's rum. So it's like a salted caramel, rum-filled coffee. All right. And then I got new glasses. Having new glasses is like getting a whole new set of eyes. And then it was, now this, I know this was March because I missed Valentine's Day. This page was planned for Valentine's Day. And we took the little Sweethearts candies. The little I love you, be mine, little hearts, and I scattered them on the page. I spray painted the page, and then I scattered those hearts on the page, and then I did the rest of those pages while those things were still there as a mask. And so here's my beautiful young bride over here. Here's the volcano of love. I lava you. You erupt me, eat me. What? Anyway, here was my Valentine's Day page. And then the election started, and it was St. Patrick's Day. So, I mean, seriously, we went from, here's how many pages in February? Here, 1, 2, 3, 4, but I know this was in March, and then it's the middle of March because this is St. Patrick's Day. And with the time change, maybe it's time for Uncle Sam to be more like St. Patty and run out all the snakes. And here are all of the people that ran for president that were in the primaries, that had announced that they were in the primaries. And then I was playing with my brush pen. I love my brush pen. Just get a quick little eye sketch with my brush pen. And then we went to the Houston Zoo. Our trip to Houston, this is when my wife and kids came down to visit me. They didn't live here yet. They came down for spring break. We went to the amber exhibit at the Houston Museum of Natural History, and that was pretty cool because they had chunks of amber with bugs and stuff trapped in it, and they had little stories, and then they had the QR codes next to each one of them that you could take a picture of, and then you could listen to the story with your phone. So we took a picture of all of the exhibit, and then I came home and I looked up all the QR codes and I made a video and we watched it on our television at home. It's pretty cool. We saw giraffes at the zoo and pretty girls everywhere. This was the pretty girl. I also used that opportunity to glue in some pages from my sketchbooks. But this is the pretty girl I was talking about, my beautiful young bride. Boudreaux says there wouldn't be anybody. Boudreaux says that there wouldn't be anybody in DC if I ran out all the snakes. Isn't that the truth? Goodness. Hey, Pamela French. I see you sneaking in. And then Prince died. Dancing in the Purple Rain. Prince died. It was horrible. I don't even want to talk about it. And then it was a great pillow caper. Now, this week, during this one, I had interviewed Ted Conley. He's a tattoo artist here in Houston. I had interviewed him. It was a great interview. It's in the playlists of Midnight at the Oasis. But I had interviewed him, so that was the tattoo was the basis of this, and it was the great pillow caper. I had gone to Oklahoma to get a load of stuff and to visit with my family because they still lived in Oklahoma, and my tattoo says Leviticus 19:28, which is the verse in Leviticus that says not to mark your body. And so but I added for this show I added me stealing the pillow. What happened was, when I went back to Oklahoma, you know how, I'm not going to say all women do this. Maybe I should just leave this to my wife. My wife has the pillow. There's the pillow. She can't sleep without this pillow. This is the pillow. All the rest of the pillows around are just accoutrements. This is the pillow that she has to have to sleep. And I stole it. And I brought it to Texas with me. And, do to me what you will, for I have already won. And here she is chasing me with a rolling pin, going to beat me to death, and I'm stealing her pillow. It's great. It's great fun. She came down shortly after that. She's been here ever since. Oh, I wish that I could find, where's my little naked guy? Where's my little naked guy? I've been looking for this little naked guy for weeks now, and I don't know what's happened to him. But when we did this show, I had a little naked blade. Oh, I wish I could find him because it was hilarious. I thought it was funny. That's really all that matters for this. But I had a little naked blade, and alright, there was a beep. The house was beeping. I couldn't figure out why the house was beeping. All hours of the day and night, the house was just beeping, right? And I couldn't figure out where it was coming from. I even suspected that the previous owners had left a Wi-Fi camera somewhere to spy on us, and that it was beeping because the batteries were low or something like that. And so I was going all over the house. This is me naked in the bedroom. I had a little naked blade on a stick to show me climbing in the attic. Because seriously, 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm naked, going around the house trying to figure out where this beeping's coming from. Well, it turns out the coffee pot beeps when the coffee's finished, and then 2 hours later when the coffee turns off, the coffee beeps again. And so what I imagined as being all hours of the day and night was the coffee pot. I had to get up at 3:30, and so the coffee pot was going off at 3:15 to tell me that the coffee was ready. And then 2 hours later, when the coffee was finished at 5:50, or when the coffee was expired at 5:15, it beeped again to let me know that the coffee had expired, and then the coffee maker turned off. And then in the evenings, I would come in and I would make coffee, and it would beep when the coffee was prepared, and then it would beep again 2 hours later when the coffee had expired. But I didn't drink the coffee fast enough, so I would just push the button and turn it back on. And then 2 hours later, when I have forgotten about it, the coffee pot would go off again. And seriously, I couldn't figure out for the life of me. I couldn't figure out for the life of me what was beeping. And anyway, we found out what it was. This is almost like the time my dad was chasing a snake through the house with a wooden spoon in his underwear, but we'll save that story for another day. But here I am, naked, looking left and right, trying to figure out where the beeping was coming from. But the best thing was the little naked me on a stick when I was just going, where is it? It's great. Okay, and then I went to the doctor, and I knew the doctor was a quack the minute the doctor said, no alcohol, less coffee, and more broccoli. Right off the bat. So, you know, yeah, that's how you know. Get thee, not today, Satan. Get thee behind me. That's how you knew the doctor was a crack. When the doctor says no alcohol and eat more broccoli, you know the doctor's a quack. And then we were moving stuff. And the hardest part about putting stuff away is knowing where up is. You know, somebody said, have you ever said this to somebody? You need to put that up. Go put that up. Go put that up right this second. Have you ever said that to one of your kids? Did they not know where it goes? Where's up? Well, that's what happens when you move into a new house. Where is up? I mean, we all know the technical up, but when you mean we're going to put it away, well, where's away? And so that's what this page is about. And I bought a stamp to use as an arrow, and I had arrows going every which way, and we've got some glued in things. We've got some layers for spray paint. Got a lot of nice things going on in this one. There's me with my tattoo, moving boxes, trying to figure out. You can't put stuff up when you don't know where up is. Was the premise to the page. And then my site got hacked. My Artistic Biker site got hacked, and I had to reboot everything over there. I had to reload everything over there, and so we had a blue screen of death on my site. So we did a little cemetery scene. Dun 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 dun. The day my site was hacked to death. Okay, this one's fun. So you know how a cheetah eats an elephant? Small bites. Small bites. That's how a leopard eats an elephant. Small bites. Right? So my wife and I were arguing about, not arguing, arguing's not really the right word. My wife and I were vehemently discussing how to move down here quickly, and how we could get more progress done. And I was explaining to her, I was very, very, I thought I was being very helpful in explaining to her how a leopard eats an elephant with small bites. And so here I am explaining to her how she can take care of this. And here she is thinking about what biting my head off, right? And how happy she would be at that point. And it's me explaining to the wife how to clean and pack. Small bites. Okay, and then, like, seriously, this is before she moved down here. They didn't move down here. They moved down here in June. So this is before they moved down here. So we know at this point we're still before June. But this is after. I think this is... I'm pretty sure they had moved down here at this point. So now we're in it well past June of 2016. It's not just picking up a pencil, but it's at least picking up a pencil. I mean, there's some long periods of not doing anything. I didn't even draw. I didn't even draw a little bit in this period of time. And then Z.E. Franks did a video about the mantis shrimp, and so I did a page about the mantis shrimp. Mantis shrimp digs your colors. They're the ones that can see like 16 million colors. Turns out they can't see the 16 million colors. They can't do anything more with the 16 million colors than we can with the 9 or 12 that we can determine. I mean, we can determine various tones within those basic 9 to 12 colors, but these guys can see like 16 million, but they still only react to the same 9 to 12. So it's more like they can see 16 million because when they get to their depth, that's what they have to see the 9 or 12 that everybody else sees. Anyway, it was a lot of fun painting this. Then we did one all in red. Everything on here is just red, white, and black. So it's just different tints of red, white, and black. And then because I cut this strawberry in half and looked inside it, I said, George O'Keeffe, eat your heart out. And then we did a page of complementary colors, purple and yellow. Complementary sunset. Just playing with some artistic technique. Having some fun with it. The only colors used on this page are purple, yellow, black, and white. And then we played with some watercolors. I have this absorbing ground from Golden. This golden absorbing ground. You put gesso on your paper like normal. Put whatever you're going to paint. You go ahead and gesso it like normal. And then you put 1-2 coats of that, however many coats you want to put on there. But then after that dries, you put 2 coats of this absorbing ground on there. Minimum 2 coats. I've tried it with 1 coat, and you'll invariably find a spot where it's too thin and it doesn't work. So minimum 2 coats. I can give you 2 of something. Minimum 2 coats, and then it turns whatever you're working on into watercolor. Into a watercolor paper. So I gessoed the page, and then I put 2 coats of the absorbing ground on there, and then the watercolors behaved just like you would expect watercolors to behave on watercolor paper. It's pretty awesome. I love this stuff. It's great for stuff. You can watercolor on a hubcap, on a glass jar. I love this stuff. It's great fun. And then it was time for the random object randomographer. So if you're not familiar with the random object randomographer, not to go too far into this, but let me see, I may not even have a picture on my phone of the random object randomographer, but I can fix that problem. Watch this. So here's the random object randomographer. Oh, you got to be on the right camera. Here's the random object randomographer, and if you can see in that white cup down there, I pull out things like this, and then I can pop it out, and it'll have, like, here's an ant. And then I can take the ant, and I can throw the ant up on this stage like that, and then I can draw the ant. I'm going to put the ant back. And then I can draw the ant. And it started with drawings like this, where I was drawing those things. And then I kind of got bored with it, and I was trying to do different mediums. But I mean, these are the drawings from the toys. You know, that's the drawing from the toy. And I've got a bunch of different things in there. I have bugs, I have dinosaur skulls, I have mammals, I have a cactus, desert fauna, flora and fauna, lots of bugs, army people. I have a whole bunch of things in there. Starfish. I have a whole bunch of things in there. So it started with pencil, and then I moved to charcoal, and then lately I've been using ink. And because ink takes so very long to do, I have been using I've been using this book these days. Hey, in the chat room, Pamela, pass me nuts, my mom. Just in case you didn't know, Pass Me Nuts, my mom. So I've got this little bitty visual journal, and because the ink takes so long on a big page, I moved to a smaller page, to a much smaller page, and so I'm still doing the I'm still doing them. I glued this on there so that I would recognize the front, because without that, that's both brown. So, you know, I'm still doing them. I got a little toy soldier guys, Great Wall of China, a goat, a leopard, panther. I think that's a panther. But I'm using my fountain pen to do these. Dinosaur skull, elephant on his back, giraffe, toy soldier, spider, walrus. And then the other thing that I'm doing is I do these, but to warm up for this, I have been doing some little practice sessions because I'm using my fountain pen. It's a new medium, so I'm trying to get used to the new medium, and so I draw circles and ellipses and lines. Show that to you. Circles and ellipses and lines to learn how to control the pen better. And so I've got a few pages of circles and ellipses and lines. And I spend, I don't know, 5 minutes on this. I'll do this for 5 minutes, and then I'll flip the book over, and then I'll do the daily random object from the random object randomographer. And so when I'm done, if I go this way, when I'm finished, when I go this way, it'll all be random object randomographer, and when I go this way, it'll all be circles, ellipses, and lines. So that's what I'm using. That's what I'm doing now for the random object randomographer. So for this page, we made little bubbles, and we put all these little animals in the bubbles: presidential heads, robots, pears, dragons. I'm not even sure. I think that's an ankylosaur. Who knows what that is? That's a pig. But we've got, I've got some whales, Parasaurolophus. But all that's in the random object randomographer. Princesses. Actually, I don't think that's a whale. I think that's a Pokemon. Anyway. And then I did a page about one of the random objects. I took one of the random objects and I put it on the stage and I painted it like a full-blown page. Draw me like one of your French girls. And I put the little heart of whatever the stone is from the Titanic. I put it around the cow's neck because I'm that way. And somewhere my friend Jeff made the comment to me that he wanted me to draw him like one of my French girls, and so I drew him from a Facebook picture. I drew him, and then I put that same necklace on him. I drew him as a nude with that same necklace on him. So I named the cow Jeff. The bull, I named the longhorn Jeff because I had drawn Jeff like one of my French girls. And then we built this bench. When I built this art bench, where's my over the shoulder? You can't really see over the shoulder. But when I built this art bench, we did a page dedicated to it. I used the rubber band technique for perspective, where I pinned a rubber band on. I found the line of sight is right here, the horizon line is right here, and so I pinned a rubber band on each side of the book. I pinned it on the horizon line, and then I bent the rubber band to show. I bent the rubber band to show the perspective lines. So if I wanted this, I pulled this rubber band. I just pulled the rubber band down to the point that I wanted to draw to, and just traced the line. And because it was pinned on both sides, it gave me the perspective line to the. It gave me the perspective line to the vanishing point on this side. So when I pulled it down this side, this line went to the pen, and this line went to the pen. And when I pulled it down on this side, this line went to the pen, and this side went to the pen. So you can see that wherever I pulled the pen, wherever I pulled the rubber band, it pointed to the pen. So it gave me the perspective line. This is a pretty cool trick for putting 2-point perspective on your page. And it was art bench inception, because here's the art bench, with this book on top of it. And if you zoom in, if you zoom into that book, you can see that the book is on that desk, and it just keeps zooming in. So that's why I called it art bench inception, because I put this book on that bench. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. That was her powerful words to me. Did a little bit of collage because I hate collage, but I did use my nudies from my pinup drawings from my pinup practice. So at least I got that in the collage. Some candy wrappers, some Christmas wrappers. I hate collage with a passion, but I did a collage and then I painted on top of it. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. Don't let fear stop you from getting the things you want. You have to work through the fear to get to the things that you want. And then the kids wanted me to read the Big Friendly Giant. The name of the book is BFG, and Big Friendly Giant is not what we always thought BFG stood for, but apparently that's what it stands for now. Big Friendly Giant. But there was a line in the book that it really stuck with me. When she asked him how he caught the dreams. If you're not familiar with the book, the big friendly giant is a dream catcher. He catches dreams, and then he gives people dreams that they need. He'll give people nightmares if he thinks they need nightmares. He gives them good dreams if he thinks they need good dreams. But he catches them. The dreams are floating around in the sky, and he catches them like people catch lightning bugs, and he's got them in jars all around his shop. And so the little girl that ended up there, she asked him, she said, how do you catch the dreams? He said, I listens for them and I reaches for them. And I thought, wow. I listens for them and then I reaches for them. I thought that's exactly how you catch dreams. I listens for them and I reaches for them. Anyway, the words meant a lot to me, so I put them in my book. Then it was Mother's Day. This was Mother's Day 2017. So we've gone from September of 2015, and now we're up to Mother's Day of 2017. So there was a long period of time that we did nothing, and the long periods of nothingness aren't over yet. This was actually a do-over of a page that I did, I think, in 2012. So just trying to reproduce that technique and that feeling. And then I painted a rooster. I had decided that 2017 was the year of the cock. In the Chinese zodiac, 2017 was the year of the cock, so I did a cock. But 2017 was the year of the cock in the Chinese zodiac, and because I was struggling so hard trying to find subject matter, I had decided that if I couldn't think of anything else to paint, then I was going to paint a rooster. And so I painted a few roosters. This is just one of them. And this was when I had told everybody in the audience what I was trying to do. This was probably, let's see, hang on a minute. Yeah, so this is Mother's Day 2017. This is sometime after that. And I never did another one. And then I did a page about a tree and a sunset, write something about trees, because I was just experimenting with silhouette technique. Yes, Pamela French is in the studio audience asking me if I need some brown paper bags. Yes, I need brown paper bags. We're going to talk about that here in just a minute, because we're almost to the end of the flip through. And so then I went last summer in 2017. I went to a art supply making workshop, and we went into this workshop, and he had blue pigment from Iran that was like 500 bucks a pound that he was sharing with us to make our own watercolors, our own pastel crayons. And I don't have them laying out here. I put them away, but I do have this charcoal that I made. He showed us how to make our own charcoal, and I love this charcoal. It writes beautifully, it draws beautifully, it does exactly what I would expect charcoal to do. But we made our own art supplies, and so I did a page about it. Everything on this page, except for the black ink that I used in my brush pen, everything on this page was made by that class. So the yellow that you see, the blue, all of the tones that you see is from paint that I made. I made the paint in the classroom, or I used the pastel in the class. But why spend 50 bucks for art supplies when you can make your own for $500? And that was no lie. If you added up what it would cost to buy the supplies yourself and not share the cost with anybody else, well over 500 bucks for just a little bit of art supplies that I made. And then earlier this year, now we're up into 2018. Earlier this year, I decided that I needed to get back into the swing of things, and don't let fear of perfection hold you back. And for God's sake, perfection is not an issue we have here. Oh, good Lord, we do not have issues with perfection around here. Don't let fear of perfection hold you back. Got the microphone, got the stage for stage fright, got me covering my eyes because I'm scared to death. Don't let fear of protection. My mother is bragging in the chat room about all of my paintings that she is hoarding in Oklahoma, because when I moved, I did not take all of my paintings, and we did not take all of my wife's paintings, and she's bragging about it in the chat room like I'm not going to come back up there and remember that she's hoarding my paintings. Alright, and so then my son went to a birthday party with a Build-A-Bear, and he didn't actually build a bear. He actually built a Squirtle from Pokemon. But I didn't think if I drew a Squirtle, I didn't think anybody would know what a Squirtle is. So I opted to do a traditional bear from Build-A-Bear. But silly old bear, he built a super bear. But he drags this Squirtle around with him everywhere he goes, just like he would have dragged this bear around. And then, oh, we had staycation. So over spring break, this is March again. Okay, so we're back up to March 2018. Spring break. We had a staycation. And this page on the back was the staycation goals. You can just barely make out the word goals right there. And I wrote out all my goals: clean out the studio, take stuff to storage, paint the garage doors. I wrote all of my goals. Move stuff from Oklahoma. I had all of these goals: go to the zoo, go to the art museum, go to the natural history museum. All of these goals that we were going to do over the staycation. And those were the staycation goals. And then printed on top of that, after I did all that, then on top of that we put the staycation reality. And this is me sleeping all the dang time. This is how I spent my staycation. No matter how in-depth my plans were, no matter how big my goals were, this is what I ended up with. And then I started buying fountain pens. And we don't really tell my wife how much the fountain pens cost. I mean, it's not like she can't just open the savings account. She can't just open the checking account and see how much money I spent at Amazon or Dromgools or anything like that. But it's not really something we openly discuss. By the way, this one's my favorite. This is the Picasso. This one's my favorite. I also very much like this one. I can't remember the brand name of this one right now, but I also very much like this one. The Pentel is nice, but these two are the ones I use for art most of the time. Anyway, this is still my favorite. The flow of ink on this one is just fabulous. Okay, and then this is when the main computer died just a couple of weeks ago. They're in the chat room talking about perfect children, and my friend Jack's talking about how his mother always said he was perfect, but didn't ever tell him what he was perfect at. Perfect a-hole, perfect, didn't really tell him what he was perfect at. I'll have you know, Jack, I am my mother's favorite son. And before you say that I'm the only one, I want you to remember, my mother has a son, my father has a son, and they have a son between them. And I am the favorite. I am my mother's favorite. I am my father's favorite. I just want you to know that. So, anyway, this is when the computer crashed a couple of weeks ago, and we had to do the page with the laptop. And so it felt like we were back in the Stone Age trying to do the page back on the laptop. Hey, Mr. Luxury Yacht, thanks for joining us. So this is the last page in the journal, and on the last page of the journal, because we had so much inconsistency and because we had such a hard time scheduling a show and doing anything to get anything done, my viewership, my live viewership had lagged, and so we were down to Pamela French and Jamie Lynn were the only ones. When I do the last page of the book, I like to write down who was in the chat room when I did it, and Jamie Lynn and Pamela French were the only ones that had made that were there that night. And so there we go. There's the end of the book. And so that is September 2015 to April of 2018. And then we had Gremlins. I mean, we just had so many flipping Gremlins between then and now, trying to make things work. So one of the things I want to talk to you about, I've made some changes in my life. I'm trying to make some changes in my life to make it where it's more accessible to do stuff. So that's why we're cleaning up the area. That's why I switched to a smaller book for the daily sketches, so it doesn't take nearly as much time. The whole point of this is to make it easier to do stuff. When you walk into your living room, let's say for instance you wanted to learn how to play guitar, and when you walk into your living room and you sit down in your favorite chair, right next to your favorite chair is the remote control to the television and the game controls for whatever your favorite game is, whatever. Remote control of the television is the big deal. There it is, right next, or your tablet, so that you can go through videos and you can get on Facebook and all that other stuff. It's all right there next to your chair. And your guitar is in the bedroom, or your guitar is in a closet, or your guitar is somewhere else, because that's where you keep it. That's where up is, right? But you want to learn how to play guitar. In order to do that, you have to practice. So when you come into your living room, if you would take those remote controls and put them in a drawer over by the television and put that guitar next to your favorite chair, then when you sat down in your favorite chair, it would be easier to practice guitar than it would be to get back up and go get the remote. Now you could argue, what if I grab the remotes on the way over to my chair? And I would say to you, how many times have you sat down at the table without your fork? How many times have you had to go back into the house to go back into the other room to get your glasses? How many times have you, I walked over, I sat down in my chair, and you got to get back up and you got to go get whatever it is you forgot to do, your drink, whatever. Same rule applies. If you put the remote controllers in the drawer, maybe put the drawer on the other side of the room so that you don't get to walk by that drawer. You have to actually go out of your way to the drawer to find the remote controls, and then you go to your chair and there's the guitar. Even if you do go get the remote controls, the guitar is still right there. Well, I'm doing the same thing. I'm putting sketchbooks everywhere. I'm putting stuff out to make it easy. We talked about this sketchbook That's awesome, Mom. My mom says she doesn't have any lag. We talked about this. Who's leaving? Bye, Jack. Jack's leaving. We talked about this book that I made. This is a Bible cover that I put a sketchbook. I mounted a sketchbook into. I've got a magnet right there with a little cloth over it so it won't scratch my phone, and then I have a metal sheath in the inside cover of my phone, so that I can put that magnet right there. And then I have a slideshow that I play, and every 60 seconds it gives me a new face, and so I draw these faces in this book. And since I made this, it has been so wicked handy just to stop whenever I'm between meetings and knock out 10 to 12 faces, right? Just to stop and have a little practice drawing some faces. It has been so wicked handy to do that, simply because I made it convenient to carry it with me and to use it someplace. And so, and here's this is the Pilot. I'm sorry, I call it a Pentel. There's the Pilot. I like the Pilot too. This is the only place I use the Pilot though. So, because I did this, I started looking around at other ways to make it easy to do this. And I went to Amazon and I signed up for a subscription. I have these sketchbooks like this, same sketchbook that's in there, to encourage me to use that sketchbook more frequently. I have been using these sketchbooks in the past to draw patterns and faces and the like. And I've got quite a few. I have quite a few faces in here. Let's see. Y'all want to see Jack? I think Jack's in here. Jack may not be in this one. Jack may be in an older version. There's Judy Foster. There's Gina Morley. Yeah, Jack's in an earlier one. Some of them turned out really well. Some of them I struggle with. But then I started taking classes and stuff. Point of story, I put this on subscription. I was using the excuse, thanks Pamela, I was using the excuse, I don't want to go to town and get a sketchbook. I was using excuses of going to town and buying stuff. I was afraid that if I went into Hobby Lobby or if I went into Walmart, I'd buy too much stuff. And I didn't want to go over there for just a sketchbook, so I was using the excuse of not going over there to do it. Well, you can go to Amazon and put these things on subscription, so now I get one of these every other month. And I've got a collection of them, and I'm starting, I'm giving them away as gifts. I have a collection of them, but the point that I'm trying to make is I've made them accessible so that I can do the stuff that I want to do. By having what I need right where I need it to do it is making it easier for me to do it. So I put a sketchbook next to the bedside table. I put a sketchbook next to the television. I've got this one that I carry around with me everywhere that I go. And then I'm going to figure drawing, and I'm doing those figures, and I'm looking around. I'm trying to find ways, and I'm giving up the idea that this sketchbook is for this, and this sketchbook is for this, and this sketchbook is for this. I'm giving up those ideas, and I'm just saying, okay, if I'm in this room, I want to be able to sketch, and I don't want to have to think about it. I have sketchbooks everywhere I go. So the whole point is I want to be able to practice. And so, I mean, it's, the whole point is just to be able to stop and practice anytime you want to. I stop and I have a beer in the afternoon sometimes and just whip out my phone and just practice. Right? But you can't do that if you don't have the materials convenient for you. And it doesn't matter what you're trying to learn. Doesn't matter. You want to try, if you would rather spend time reading than watching television. If you want to spend more time reading books than watching television, take the remote controls to your television, put them in a drawer across the room in a corner where you don't normally go, and pull your books where your remote controls would normally go. So when you sit down in your chair, it's easier to grab the book than it is to grab the remote controls. Make it easier to draw, make it easier to read, make it easier to practice guitar, make it easier to do whatever you want to get better at. Make it easier to do that than the distraction that normally stops you from doing it. This is a new thing I'm trying, and it's been working very well for me. So we're gonna continue down that road. I think that's it. But I have other sketchbooks. So when this one runs out, you know, I've got these that I'm going to start using. I've got all these other ideas that I want to try, but I feel like I have to get through this. You know what? I just put this someplace where I can reach it. So if I feel like doing it, I do it. Got to get past that idea that sketchbook is only for that thing. Anyway, guys, that's all I had planned for tonight, was to do the flip through, to talk to you about what's going on next week. Oh, that's one of the other things. That's the other thing I wanted to talk to you about. It's time to make a new book, and so I don't really have enough grocery sacks to make another book yet. It's not the season to make a book because that book took so long to make, and because I moved away from grocery stores to use paper sacks, I don't really have enough grocery sacks to make another book. So I make the full book in September. So what are we going to do until September? We still have June, July, and August to get through, right? Because it's the middle of May to the middle of September. So we really have 4 months. You bet, Boudreaux. We really have 4 months to get through before it's time to make a full-fledged book. So do we make, what do we want to do in the meantime? Do we want to do stuff on loose leaf stuff and put it into a 3-ring binder? Do we want to, do you want to see me do the faces? Do we want to talk about that one week? I mean, I'm probably going to do that anyway. Do we want to make a small book, a small summer book out of file folders? I mean, what do we want to do? You guys tell me in the comments or in the email, blade@artisticbiker.com. Either tell me in the comments which you'd rather see. Do you want to see me make another book? Do you want to see me do a loose leaf? Do you want to just see me work on other projects until September? Let me know what you want to do. And in the meantime, we're going to focus more on doing stuff with the family so that I've got more stuff to talk to you about. We'll get this cleaned off, have the wife and kids out here. Turns out I've got a 4-year-old grandbaby living with me right now, that if my older kids are too big to come out and paint with their dad, grandbaby will come draw with me for a few minutes. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me. You know this is my favorite night of the week, when I get to art with my besties. Even though we didn't art tonight, we just sat and we sipped our favorite beverages. And we did a peaceful flip through of the last journal. And I just can't believe it took that long to get that journal finished. But I'm ready to start a new cycle, to get on with some other stuff. Anyway, be sure and tune in next week. Same Artistic Biker time, same Artistic Biker channel. And then we dance. And we dance until somebody says that they see me dancing, because as soon as they say they see me dancing, then I know that the lag has caught up. Oh, Pamela French is saying she'd love to see me do faces. Oh, Boudreaux says, I'd love to see you do faces. And Pamela French says, how about a paint-along project we can do together online? You know what? Let's plan that one too. I think that would be fun. And we'll definitely do the faces. And Mr. Luxury Yacht says faces would be cool too. So we'll definitely do that. Anyway, so let's start dancing again. Now this time, don't tell me when you saw me dancing the first time. Tell me when you see me dancing the second time. Hey, I've been learning to do that floss thing. So I'm doing the floss dance. So as soon as somebody says they see me dancing, then I can stop, because I know you people are mean and just will let a fat man dance until he passes out. No dancing here. Pamela says she doesn't see any dancing, but the question is do you see the first dancing or do you see the second dancing? Because my mom says she has no lag. I don't know if she sees the first dancing or if she sees the second dancing. Boudreaux says she can't see me at all. Ha ha ha. Everybody's saying goodbye. So I'm going to pretend like it's done and stop the recording. Thank you guys. Mwah.